Assalamualaikum, IB to Dr. Aizat and my group members. We are from group 2, consists of 4 team members which are me, Aiman, A18025, Devanesh Rao, A1811141, Alia A1811208, Husna A1811772. For today's discussion, there are 3 goals that we want to achieve. The first one is to discuss about the rock cycle. The second one is to discuss about the origin of soil. The third one is to brief about our soil exploration nearby our area. To start our discussion, I would like to ask Husna to talk about the background of rock cycle.
Okay. According to the geotechnical engineering textbooks, the rock cycle is a process or a cycle in which rocks are continuously transformed between the 3 rock types, which is igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. It shows how any one type of rock can be changed into any other type of rock. For example, sedimentary rock may undergo metamorphism to become metamorphic rock. So, next page. It shows the full overview of the rock cycle. Okay, so to better understanding, so I would like to ask Devanesh to explain about the igneous rock.
Okay, thank you. So now I'll be explaining about the igneous rock. Okay, so igneous rock. Igneous rock are formed when molten hot materials cools and solidifies, and there are actually 2 ways in forming this igneous rock. One is intrusive and another one is extrusive. So the first one, intrusive, is when magma cools inside the earth. Okay, the second one is extrusive. Extrusive is magma cools at or near Earth's surface. Okay, talking about the igneous rock, we can relate with Bowen's reaction series. Okay, so Bowen's reaction series can be defined as the crystallization sequence of magma as cooling occurs, and it actually has 2 parts. One is discontinuous series and another one is continuous series. So discontinuous tells that minerals formed are different in their chemical compositions and crystalline structure, and continuous tells the mineral formed have different chemical compositions with similar crystalline structures. Okay, so the common type of igneous rock are granite, gabbro, basalt, and diabase. Okay, so next I would like to pass upon to Alia to explain about sedimentary rock. Thank you.
So sedimentary rock, it consists of deposits of gravel, sand, silt, and clay formed by weathering. So it can be formed by 2 methods. First, compacted and cemented, and the second one, chemical process. For the compacted and cemented, it will be done by agents like groundwater, and the product can be, and the other agent is iron oxide, calcite, dolomite, and quartz. So it can be classified as detrital sedimentary rocks, and this type of rocks has a texture of plastic. So plastic is a composed of grains, fragments of pre-existing rock that have been packed together with space between grains. So for this rock that formed by compacted and cemented, for the example, for the size granular or larger, the sedimentary rock is conglomerate. For the size of sandstone. For the size of silt and clay, it can be mudstone and shale. For the chemical process, it will be done when it deposits chemically with other agents. And then it is classified as chemical sedimentary rocks. These rocks has a texture of clastic or non-clastic. For non-clastic, it can be found chiefly in rocks that have precipitated chemically from water or organism or organic material. So this is example of chemical sedimentary rocks. For composition of calcite, it can be limestone, halite, rock salt, dolomite, gypsum. So this type of rock can be clastic or non-clastic. For example, limestone. Most of limestone are clastic, but they also have a non-clastic texture. So next, Aiman, can you explain about uh, metamorphic rock?
Sure, Ken. According to the Geological Society of Glasgow, metamorphic rocks are formed through the transformation of pre-existing rocks in a process known as metamorphism. Metamorphism refers to the change in form. Metamorphic rocks were once igneous or sedimentary rocks but have been changed as a result of intense heat and pressure within the earth crust. Generally, metamorphic rock contains large quantities of quartz and feldspar. As shown in the slide, these are the pictures of the quartz and feldspar. The next part that I want to talk is about the texture. It is foliated due to the shear of mineral grains. Foliated metamorphic rocks exhibit layer or stripe caused by elongation and alignment of minerals in the rock as it undergoes metamorphism. There are few types of metamorphic rocks which are gneisses, phyllites, schist, and marble. These are the pictures of the type of metamorphic rocks. The most familiar metamorphic rock that we use to hear is marble, right? Next, we move to the origin of soil. What is your understanding of origin of soil, Divinish?
Okay, Aiman. So generally, in this earth, most of the hard, naturally formed substance of the earth is referred to as rock. So these rocks were then exposed to the action of weathering agencies over thousands of years. Okay, so the end product of these weathering agencies can be actually classified into many physical properties such as size, shape, and chemical compositions of the grains. So next, I would like to pass upon to Husna to explain more about the formation of soils. Thank you.
Okay, so there are two ways to form a soil. The first one is weathering of rock, and the second one is the decomposition of organic matter. For weathering of rock is actually a process of breaking down rocks into smaller pieces by mechanical and chemical process. For example, wind, rain, water, acid, salt. Those are some of the agent of weathering. Dan hasil daripada weathering of rock ni adalah gravel, sand, silt and clay. Next, for decomposition of organic matter is a biological process that include physical breakdown and biochemical transformation of complex organic into simpler organic and inorganic substance. It's occur naturally, like bodies of living organisms begin to decompose shortly after death. The example of decomposition is humus, peat and muck. Actually, when I researched about this point, I found an interesting sentence which is decomposition of organic matter is an important contributor to ecosystem respiration like photosynthesis. So it's not only for soil but for ecosystem. Now I will pass to Aiman to explain more about the weathering of rock.
The first start is mechanical weathering. Mechanical weathering, also known as physical weathering. According to the Geological Society, mechanical weathering is the breakdown of rocks into soil by forces of nature. This process is caused by changes in temperature, the effect of wind, rain, waves, and freezing. It is also caused by the impact and grinding actions of flowing water, ice, wind, and splitting actions of ice, plant, and animal. The second type is chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is caused by rainwater reacting with the mineral grains in rocks to form new minerals, which are clay and soluble salts. These reactions occurs particularly when the water is slightly acidic. The major reactions involved in chemical weathering are oxidation, hydrolysis, and carbonation. Oxidation is a reaction with oxygen to form an oxide. Hydrolysis is a reaction with water, and carbonation is a reaction with carbon dioxide to form a carbonate. The next slide is about soil formed due to weathering of parent rock. For better understanding, Alia will elaborate more on this part.
Okay, for the soil formed due to weathering of the parent rock, either mechanical or chemical. So first, transported soil, and the second one, residual soil. for the transported soil occur when the product of rock weathering transported from the place where they are originated and redeposited to any other place. And then for residual soil, is a soil when the product of rock weathering still located at the same place where they are originated. It means they doesn't move. Okay. For the transported soil, they might be classified into several groups depending on their mode of transportation and deposition. For firstly, glacial soils, it formed by transportation and deposition of glaciers. So it can be found at the macam tempat-tempat yang berais, macam yang boleh nampak dalam gambar ni. And then the second one, alluvial soils transported by running water and deposited along streams. So nampak dia biasanya dekat tebing-tebing sungai. And then third, lacustrine soils formed by deposition in quiet lakes. Biasanya nampak dekat tasik-tasik, sekitar tasik. And then fourth, marine soils formed by deposition in the seas. Ni pula tepi pantai biasanya ada boleh jumpa tanah macam ni yang dalam gambar ni. And then alien soils transported and deposited by wind. So boleh nampak lah dalam gambar ni tempat tu macam padang pasir ni dia berangin, dia tiada pokok-pokok yang boleh halang angin tu. So banyak terjadinya transported soil iaitu yang dinamakan alien soils. And then yang terakhir sekali, colluvial soils. It formed by movement of soil from its original place by gravity, such as during landslides. So during landslide, as we know, soil akan jatuh ke bawah by gravity. So dia akan move from the upper to the bottom. So maksudnya dia bergerak so tanah yang terjadi yang dekat bawah tu dikenali sebagai colluvial soils. Okay, that's all for the transported soil.
Last but not least, soil exploration. So kita buat soil exploration dekat College Peter Zabah UKM. So dekat gambar ni bukti Aiman dengan Alia tengah buat soil exploration. Meanwhile, Husna tukang ambil gambar and Devenish ada masalah bencana banjir. So the next part kita akan tunjuk video. So daripada video ni kita tunjuk bukti yang kita buat soil exploration and kita dapat result dia. Boleh tak Alia bincang lebih lanjut tentang result yang kita dapat?
Okay, based on the result that we get, soil tu bila Aiman angkat dan saya pun ada angkat sendiri, dia ringan. And then boleh nampak dari gambar yang kami ambil ni, nampak kering soil tu. And then it also feels warm surround the soil and gritty. Nampak dia punya structure tu, dia macam ketul-ketul kecil tu, dia gritty. And then based on our research, it's actually around 7% clay, less than 50% silt, and between 43% to 50% sand. And based on what we study, this soil that we found is a type of sandy loam. So everyone agree with this?
Agree.
Okay. So I would like to ask Husna, what do you know about the sandy loam?
Okay, so sandy loam ni sesuai untuk tanaman. So yang kita cari ni dekat kawasan yang berumput, yang ada tanaman pokok macam tu. So based on our investigation of this soil, is made up of silt and clay. So next, Devenish, what you can add about this type of soil?
Okay, so sandy loam soils are dominated by sand particles but contain enough enough clay and sediment to provide some structures and fertility. Thank you.
Thank you. So tu je lah kita punya discussion untuk malam ni. So terima kasih sebab hadir untuk bagi kerjasama untuk discussion malam ni.